Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay. Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform. I'll start scanning for an Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens. I'm ready when you are. Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it. Hold on to your butt.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
What do you want me to do, Sean? What can I do?
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why build it to look like you?
We'd advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records on my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Sean.
This truly is a wonderful place, isn't it?
Got it.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned, the phase-out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Thanks again.
Of course.
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
We're all looking forward to working with you.
Excuse me, Doctor.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it.
Dr. Fillmore.
What's on your mind?
I'd like to know about the people in your division.
Of course. Dr. Lawrence Higgs is our mechanical engineer. He oversees the major life support and security systems. Power distribution is Dr. Evan Watson's area of expertise, and Dr. Newton Oberly is in charge of food and housing. He coordinates with bioscience to ensure that our meals are balanced for optimal nutrition. We also make use of a number of synth units for low-priority maintenance and labor.
Allie.
What's on your mind?
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
What can I requisition?
I have access to a modest selection of arms, armor, and other items approved for use in field missions.
Sure. Let's take a look. Hey,
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
You're here. Glad you made it. Is it true
Excuse me,
food
I've got
supplement
reports to deliver.
77 has been discontinued?
That is correct.
That was my favorite one. Can't we keep it a little longer?
I will be happy to forward your request to the Bioscience Division. In the meantime, please feel free to enjoy one of our other nutritious and flavorful food supplements.
I want supplement 77.
I am sorry, sir, but that supplement is no longer available.
Useless machine. Rumor is, Advanced Systems will be starting a new dark matter initiative soon.
Good morning. Would you care for some pre-processed nutritional supplements?
what have you got?
I can offer a range of nutritious and great-tasting food supplements. Food Supplement 7 is very popular for its spicy flavor, and Food Supplement 91 is our newest offering.
Let's see what you have.
Everyone's excited about the new synth project.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare polarizer on you, would you?
Excuse me.
I was just thinking of you.
Your thoughts?
Please, let me see and scan as many indigenous life forms as possible. It is, of course, for science.
So, how are we doing, Kiri?
I think we are too good. Can you hear? My heart may burst.
Didn't have anything else.
As you wish.
Greetings, sir. Welcome to the commissary. Would you care for food?
Hey. Nick,
Got something for me?
your thoughts?
I don't need to worry about the old Nick and his life anymore. I'll never be able to thank you for that.
I wanted to make sure things were okay between you and me.
Honestly, I don't think I could ask for a better partner or a better friend.
Nothing else for now.
All right.
The commissary is always open. Would you like some processed sustenance packets?
Have you had time to examine my latest reports on batch 274?
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operation.
I hear we're about to get a new food supplement.
So I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well... I suppose you're right. Sorry, but I'm too preoccupied for chit-chat.
Doc.
Yes, I'm sure that whatever you have to say is very interesting, but now simply isn't a good time.
Working on something important?
All of my work is important. Now, if you're quite finished, I'd very much like to get back to these mental equations. They're difficult enough without the distractions.
What a charmer.
If that was an attempt at humor, I'm afraid it's lost on me. I'm much too preoccupied with my equations. And now, if we're quite finished here, I'll return to them.
Dr. Carlin.
Director Holdren seems very taken with you.
Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops.
Hey, Doc.
Welcome.
So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Committee. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is, but I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in, and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out.
Clayton.
Anything I can help you with?
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed.
Dr. Holdren.
Anything I can help you with?
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results. I can't imagine
I've got
living on
reports
the
to deliver.
surface. It sounds like a nightmare.
Child synth. It's just remarkable.
Through.
Steam packs are a marvelous invention, don't you think? Identity unknown.
Yes.
Scanners detecting sensor. Hostile in the zone. Contact.
Got it.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
Run away like cowards, afraid of
Is not letting this happen.
strong fight, strong smash. Always fight.
This is only gonna end one way.
Yes.
I don't ask for much. Just need a full bottle and some bones to break.
Move.
That's it. Clayton,
Something I can do for you?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Take care, then.
We are honored to welcome you here.
Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office now. Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
See that you do.
Doctor.
Welcome. Welcome. It is so good to meet you. I truly hope you come to think of the Institute as your home.
What do you do here?
Oh, I'm in charge of housing and provisions. It's my mission to ensure that everyone lives a comfortable and productive life. You should know that many of us consider it a great honor to have you here.
Newton.
Good to see you. Feeling well today? People on the surface have got it pretty bad. Makes me thankful for being down here. Our new synths are so lifelike, I keep mistaking them for real people.
Operating at full capacity.
Are you seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together?
What now?
They're dragging
Dr.
their feet
Watson
on the
can be a
targeting package
little
upgrades I
obsessive
asked
when it
for.
comes to
Maybe I should
rules
take
and
some courses
policies.
with me.
Carry on,
Send a
sir.
message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well.
So you were
You'll
there
see.
the day the bombs fell. That must have been terrifying. Mankind redefined. It's catchy, isn't it?
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often. I swear I spend half my time smoothing the feathers that Justin ruffles. We need to be able to collaborate with the other divisions, and that's a lot harder when they're always angry at us.
What's Justin doing that's causing friction?
Oh, he's just pushy and demanding. He thinks his problem should be everyone's biggest concern. I have to admit, though, the other divisions have never taken our needs as seriously as they should. Guess they see us as a necessary evil or something. It's really not fair. Oh, just listen to me. It's the first chance we've had to get acquainted, and all I want to do is complain. In any case, it was good to meet you.
Alana.
The Directorate should take the synth escapes more seriously.
Did I turn off the interferometer?
Excuse me.
All this must be a little overwhelming for you.
Hey there.
Always be vigilant. We have many enemies.
If the robotics division was a little more careful, we wouldn't have synths trying to escape.
Hey, Doc.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal. I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the synth retention bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I hate to break it to you, but your Courser wasn't all that tough.
Then it's likely the unit was defective. It's rare, but faults can occur from time to time. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
If you're the acting head of the SRB, who were you filling in for?
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's supervising the retrieval of some of the more high-profile units. In his absence, I keep things running smoothly.
Justin.
Yes? What do you need?
You mentioned that coursers undergo special training. Tell me more about it.
The SRB constantly monitors our Gen 3 synth population, looking for specific traits. Those who show tenacity, fearlessness, and independence undergo a rigorous training regimen. We teach them armed and unarmed combat, investigative techniques, psychology, and mechanical skills. Those who pass a final evaluation become coursers. The rest have their memories wiped and return to their former duties.
Dr. Ayo.
Yes, what is it?
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Justin.
Yes, what is it?
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Very well.
Stay out of my way.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
Theoretical limits are made to be broken.
It must make you proud to see all that Father has
Are you
done.
going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
No, I can't talk about that.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Oh, hi there. Sorry
Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing detailed mental comparisons.
What kinds of blueprints?
Mostly components for a new plasma pistol concept I've been toying with. High-energy weapons are sort of a hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us.
Dr. Orman.
Sleep is such a waste of time. I'd rather be designing more efficient plasma emitters. Well, that was productive.
Hey, what is it?
Safety first. Remember that.
Doctor.
Since you're new here, you should take time to learn our safety procedures. And the sooner the better. Rules create order, and order promotes efficiency.
How many rules are we talking about here?
Not nearly enough, if you ask me. I had some handbooks made up, but that was years ago. I'll see about getting one to you.
How big is this handbook?
Just a few thousand pages, but I like to think it's a brisk read. I certainly find it so. Take care, then.
Evan.
In case anyone didn't mention it, quiet time runs from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
What is it you're working on?
Advanced Systems Special Projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A Courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Is everything okay, Dr. Lee? You seem pretty tense.
Yes, things are... It's fine. I'm sorry, I don't socialize much. I prefer to focus on my work.
Dr. Lee. Tell me about the people in your division.
I'm not sure what there is to say. Dr. Watson is the Specialist Project's lead scientist. He's, how to put it, very organized and precise. Dr. Ormond is one of the youngest scientists in the Institute, and she's something of a prodigy when it comes to physics.
Dr. Lee. I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry. I report to the director, not you.
Dr. Lee. I'm good for now. Thanks.
All right.
Child synth prototype may truly be the key to...
day.
I've heard stories. The surface sure sounds scary.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
First things first. How do I get back to the surface?
The same way you got in, of course. You are not a prisoner here. You may come and go as you please. Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind, redefined. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
What do you mean by proper supervision?
I mean that while they are here in the Institute, fulfilling the purpose for which they were designed, our synths perform admirably. As you're about to see, however, they can become unpredictable when set loose. A rogue synth has taken over the raider gang at Libertalia. His memories have been erased, and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
Who erased his memories? And why?
Those idealistic radicals who call themselves the Railroad are behind it. We'll deal with them in time. But right now, the priority is to reclaim that synth before more harm is done. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
Son.
Libertalia isn't hard to find. Just look for the jumble of wrecked ships floating in the harbor.
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
When the lights go down and the stars come out, man just forgets about all this.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound.
Hi.
Will there be any Once
pain?
you've settled in, I'll want to do a physical and get a file going. No.
You're the doctor here?
Everyone's a doctor here. But if you mean physician, then yes, I'm about as close as we've got to one. How about you take some time to get comfortable, learn the lay of the land and such. In the meantime, you come see me if you need to get patched up. We'll do that checkup when you're good and ready. Take care of yourself, so I don't have to. I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still.
Dr. Volkert.
Take good care of yourself, and you won't have to see too much of me. All this advanced technology, and we still can't cure the common cold.
Hey.
How may I be of service?
For goodness sake, I can't find my notes anywhere.
Family is important.
Dr. Lee.
I hope all your needs are being seen to. You just let me know if they're not.
Dr. Oberlin.
When the lights go down and the stars come out, man just forgets about all his troubles.
Why can't a synth be a person too? I don't really see the difference.
Hey.
The Courser's giving me the creeps, you know? They seem, I don't know, cold.
You are my friend. That feels so good to say, you know?
You're a Minuteman, aren't you? Thought so. Oh, I just wanted to say thanks for everything you fellas.
Thank you.
It's good to know. Remember to support the local community.
We need more people like you.
Here's that holotape you gave me.
Take this.
Full of Institute data.
But
I hope.
Well, all right. I'll start digging into this and see if I can make heads or tails of it.
What do you hope to find?
Whatever the Institute doesn't want anybody to know. All the good stuff on here is going to be encrypted. So the first job is to see if I can crack it. After that, well, I'll have to see what I've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe.
Can we trade a few things?
Hey.
Well, I'm glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
Did you expect it to?
No, of course not. It was far more likely that it would just blow up. But it didn't. You made it in. Were you able to find the serum?
What serum?
We had a deal. I help you get into the Institute. You find the cure that I was working on. It should still be in my old lab, in the bioscience division. With any luck, they haven't found it yet. Volkert probably still has the place sealed up while he goes through my research.
Strong, hold up.
Take meat, make
Hell,
human
aroma is
strong.
that?
What are you thinking about?
You fight like behemoth.
How do you feel about us?
Please, you have to find the serum.
Got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see. Retrovirus has matured nicely. Density gradient is high. Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable. Transcriptive exon strands have formed.
How are you going to test it?
On myself, of course. That was the plan. This serum will only counteract the specific strain of FEV that I infected myself with. There's no telling what it might do to anyone else. All right. Here we go. And now, we wait.
How long will it take?
I don't know. Nothing like this has ever been tried before. I'm going to rest for a while. I'm back in a few days, maybe a week, and... well, I guess we'll see. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
Virgil?
We just have to wait.
fighting again.
Feel my arm. How am I gonna pour myself a drink? I'm ready for it. That's how we do things around here. Whoa, everybody stop! You scared now?
There you are.
You must be the courser I'm supposed to meet.
Yes, sir. Designation X688. I've already neutralized the perimeter guard. Just give the word and we can start this.
He seems most eager for violence,
Hope you choke on your own.
What do we know about this synth, Gabriel?
Designation B592 holed up in the shack on top of the upended cargo ship. He's probably got his best fighters with him, so we should plan on heavy resistance. So, are you ready to go in? Let's go. Right behind you, sir.
Hey there.
Keep your eyes open, sir. My orders are to help you capture the synth in the Bertalia. I'll be waiting there when you're ready.
Excuse me.
Ammo levels are good. My orders are to help you capture the synth in the Bertalia. I'll be waiting there when you're ready.
Show your face! Come on! I dare you! Thought you could hide! Always got...
Soon, human.
Oh, I know you're here.
Time to rip
You're really good at this. Too good.
We've got company. Look who it is. You got some time incoming. Just when I thought we were getting along.
Hold up. To reset the synth's cognitive functions, speak the recall code out loud. The code is Gamma 71 Epsilon. Keep your eyes open, sir.
Steam plugs are a marvelous invention, don't you think?
Well Judging by your gear, I'm gonna guess you two are agents of the Institute. Just like me. So, made it to the top. Is the Institute so desperate for resources that it's stealing plunder from honest, hard-working Commonwealth gangs?
B592, initialize factory reset, authorization Gamma 71 Epsilon.
Boss? You okay? Gabriel, can you hear me? Shit, they did something to him! Take them out! Time's up!
Nice work, sir. I'll take the synth back.
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
Why do you care what happens on the surface? You're in your own world down here.
Because there are forces on the surface that could pose a threat to us, and only a fool ignores a possible threat. We might diminish that danger by correcting the false perception that we intend some great harm to mankind. But enough about that. The task is done, and you've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
Sean.
Now you'll have a place to stay that's far safer than any on the surface.
Welcome to the Institute, sir.
Hey.
All systems nominal.
Hey there.
I wouldn't be here, not for your son. Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
Always be vigilant. We have many enemies.
Your presence here is a great gift. Not just to Father, but to all of us.
Your quarters are just inside, sir.
Hey.
Your new quarters are here, sir. When you're finished here, sir, Father wants to see you.
I feel so wonderfully rested. I should be able to make another steam pack soon.
Hey.
Do you need something from me?
Excuse me.
What do you wish to talk about?
Your thoughts?
These scenes we are after? Clearly he deserves his fate.
Your thoughts?
The influx of data is hard to process. Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
So, how are we doing, Kiri?
We are... I love you. Sorry. It is so hard to keep my feelings contained.
That was it?
Not a problem. Let us continue our journeys.
If it isn't the railroad's secret weapon, what you need?
Your thoughts?
So I get to reclaim myself a synth. Desdemona's gonna be thrilled with this, but hey, we gotta sell our cover, right?
Your thoughts?
Did I have you going about being a synth? You'd be amazed how many people actually fall for that.
So, how are we doing, Deacon?
The load always seems a little lighter, the steps a little quicker when you're with your friend. We're good.
That was all.
Another time.
Hey. Piper.
Hey, here. Something to keep sharp. Always worked for me.
Your thoughts?
The Institute wants to clean out Libertalia. Are they actually doing something good for the Commonwealth, or did we slip into a parallel universe?
Your thoughts?
Or one well-preserved relic, you know that?
Is everything all right between us, Piper?
Blue, I'm on cloud 9. Things couldn't be better. And that's all thanks to you.
That was all I had.
Okay.
Hey, Valentine.
Need something?
Your thoughts?
A synth taking up in Libertalia. I suppose some folks will do anything to get away from the Institute.
I wanted to make sure things were okay between you and me.
With you at my side, doing the kind of good we've done, I'm about as great as one synth can be.
Oh, nothing.
Sure, sure.
Excuse me, Paladin Vance.
What's the matter?
Your thoughts?
I have to admit, I'm very impressed. You're quite a soldier.
What are your thoughts on our relationship?
I'd trust you with my life. And I assure you, that trust doesn't come easy.
Nothing else I needed.
Very well.
Hey, Codsworth.
There we are.
Your thoughts?
The last thing raiders need is an intelligent leader. It would make them a proper force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Your thoughts?
Only the anxiety of what future adventures await us, sir. I'm sorry, did I say anxiety? I meant anticipation.
How do you feel about us?
Sir, you will always be the most selfless and kind person I know. The missus would be proud.
Oh, nothing.
All right, then.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Got everything you need?
Just once, let me find a pair of socks that don't have holes in them.
Well, what do you think about our relationship?
You and I, we're a hell of a team.
That was all I had.
Back to it, then.
Hey there.
Last time we talked, I hope I didn't bore you to death by dumping my life story on you.
Hey, if it's important to you, it's important to me.
Really appreciate you saying that. The fact of the matter is, the closest thing to family I have out here. As we've been traveling together, I'm finding it easier and easier to share my feelings with you. Anyway, I just want you to know how much your friendship means to me.
This is making me kind of uncomfortable.
Wouldn't have killed you to say something nicer there, but I suppose it isn't your fault. Remember, if you need anything, you be sure and let me know.
Hey.
Yeah?
Hey, Hancock.
Hey, what we discussed earlier. You're gonna be discreet with that info, right?
I would never betray your trust like that, Hancock.
And don't think I don't appreciate it. You know, I wasn't kidding before about this being the smartest thing I've ever done. This is the life I've been looking for. Helping the people with a friend like you.
Can we just keep this professional? All this emotion is making me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'll try and dial back the friendship from here on out. Well, thanks. Again. Now, you want to get this freak show back on the road?
Look alive, Gage.
You okay, boss?
Hancock.
Easy
You look like you could use a little pick-me-up.
Hey, Gage.
I'm here if you need me.
Just wanted to check in. Make sure we're doing okay.
I ain't had this good a time in, well, maybe ever. You don't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah?
How are you feeling about things?
Nice to see the Institute doing something to help the Commonwealth for once.
What's on your mind?
Where to next?
What do you think about our relationship?
Trust me, we're good. You know I'd tell you if there was anything wrong.
No, never mind.
All right.
Heads up.
This better be worth it.
Hi.
What do you need, darling?
Your thoughts?
A synth telling a bunch of raiders what to do. Sounds like a mess we need to clean up.
Just wanted to check in. See how you feel things are going between us.
You don't have to ask me that. You just need to listen to your heart.
That was all.
No problem.
Sometimes Clinton is really mean to me, but my mom says I have to be nice anyway.
I know that suit. You're one of those people who lives underground.
What others call complaining, I call critical thinking and challenging assumptions.
Doctor.
You know what happens when people get robot?
I'm trying to learn chess, but the computer always beats me.
Scanning. Subject identified.
Ah. Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
That's a loaded question. What's been stolen from you?
Institute property is not often taken from us. We cannot react lightly when it happens. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. And they no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
Where are the synths located?
A small settlement at the old Bunker Hill Monument. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
Of course, sir. We'll be waiting for you outside Bunker Hill. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small.
Pam wants to talk to me. She's in back.
You're the real deal. You actually made it inside the Institute.
Confirming presence of rogue variable. Dispensing data. There are 3 independent reports of Courser activity. Analysis completed based on target's activity pattern, location, and suspected trajectory. Conclusion. The Institute is actively looking for railroad assets. Stopgap solution. Terminate Courser threats whenever possible.
Wouldn't killing a Courser blow my cover?
2 facts. Fact 1. If rogue variable leaves no survivors, chance of undercover mission being compromised is 1.3%. Railroad Alpha has deemed this an acceptable level of risk to preserve the current railroad organization construct. Fact 2. Only agents of designated subclass Heavy capable of eliminating Courser threat.
Go on.
Target designated Courser Alpha is in a defended location with lower generation synth targets. Eliminate Courser variable, leaving no survivors. End of discussion.
Where all the synths go? I just heard the most fascinating rumor. The story goes that you actually found the Institute. Been there and back again. Sounds crazy, right?
Where'd you hear that?
Deacon brought it to my attention. And, as usual, he won't give up his source.
It's all true.
Deacon says you used teleportation. I can't imagine. You must feel justifiably proud of what your Minutemen have achieved in such a short time. Eventually, the Minutemen will devise their own plan to deal with the Institute. But I doubt your soldiers will place any priority on rescuing the synths inside. I'm counting on you being as passionate about freeing synths as we are. Please, work with us instead.
You think the Minutemen won't help the synths?
The Minutemen are a reflection of the character of the Commonwealth people. And time again, that character has been proven to be rotten. The synths are tangible receptacles of their hatred of the Institute. Order them to help, and they'd mutiny.
I'll work with you then.
You have no idea how relieved I am to hear that. What I'm about to tell you is the most closely guarded secret the Railroad has. It's time you learn about Patriot. There's a man, or woman, we're not sure, inside the Institute who helps synths escape to freedom. Dozens of synths owe him their lives. We don't know his name. We've never had a way to contact him. So we gave him the codename Patriot. So you need to infiltrate the Institute and make contact with Patriot.
How do I make contact?
Tom devised a way to send a message to Patriot. We can plant a coded message on an Institute terminal. And, if all goes well, he'll respond. Just see Tom, and you can proceed from there.
Can I talk to you?
Something on your mind?
Any news on your side?
Things we've set in motion continue to move. There are complications, always are, but nothing worth bringing to your attention. How about you? Any news?
The Institute knows about Bunker Hill. They're planning to recapture the synths there.
The timing couldn't be worse. The old man's been sitting on those 4 synths. There's nowhere else that's safe we could put them. Maintaining your cover is vital. But the sacrifice is just too great.
How much damage would it cause if we let them hit us?
We're running out of places to hide our synths. That's why we put so many eggs in one crowded basket to begin with. So what would we lose? 4 synths, Stockton, some of our best agents, and the inevitable civilian casualties? No, not this time. We've never known when and where the Institute would strike us next. But now we have a chance to turn the tables. We wait until the enemy is in position, then we hit them hard. No one they send out comes back alive except you. Understand?
Won't the Institute be suspicious if I'm the only one left?
You're a lot tougher than anyone else in their outfit. If only one person could survive, it would be you. And any story you come up with won't be contradicted. We can't attack too early. We need to draw them into the kill zone, and then spring the trap. You'll know when. You'll probably have a Courser escort. You'll have to take him down. You've done it before, but it'll still be dangerous.
Is all this really worth it?
We can't afford to sacrifice Stockton and the synths. There's just too few of us left. And we can't relocate them without compromising your cover. It's a risk, but it's one we have to take. So get it done.
Hey, it's Charmer. Charmer's back.
Perhaps we should organize a conference of fellow physicians so we can share our theories.
Man, you were actually there? Inside the belly of the beast? No time for that, though. Let's set you up to contact Patriot. I got here one genuine Tinker Time special. Just load her up onto a holotape, plug her into any Institute terminal, and execute.
Up there, assume you're being watched. Oh. Always.
Spend enough time here, and you'll be sick to death of the word synth.
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge unless your primary levels are below 2%. Also, if you haven't patched your navigation software, do so after this meeting. The last thing we need is more synths bumping into walls. All right, that's all for now. You can resume your duties.
I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you.
You know, I love my work, but I love being followed.
Do you ever feel like just running for the sheer pleasure of it?
Excuse me, Doctor.
It's a real...
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
The Courser's giving me the creeps, you know? They seem, I don't know, cold.
Excuse me.
Dad says I'm as good as he is with computers.
Nothing to report, sir.
Unit B592 is undergoing the reclamation process as we speak. Before long, he'll be back in the workforce.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia is a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Hey, it's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know, the encryption algorithm.
Trinity? What's that?
Trinity is an encryption system with a cipher, or key cut up into many pieces. You need several pieces in the correct order to unlock it. I put a Trinity piece with every synth I helped escape. It was a long shot, but I was hoping some good Samaritan would connect it all together.
Who are you?
I'm Liam Benet. My father runs synth development, and everyone knows who you are.
A friend named Tinker Tom cracked your encryption.
He must have had some serious hardware to pull that off. Wow, your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
The railroad sent me to look for someone they called Patriot. That's you.
What? The railroad? As in the railroad? And they gave me a code name too? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
How did you help synths escape?
Through hacking. The departments focus their best talents on hard science. Why waste time on terminal security, right? The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, bioscience can get a hand-picked synth on surface detail. And it turns out the railroad was waiting for them. Wow.
Why are you helping synths?
At first, I just wanted to see if I could get away with it. It was a challenge, you know? But then I realized the synths are really just like us, except without any freedom. I decided to help the ones that wanted to escape, so they can have a better life.
You saved a lot of synths.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths at once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now. You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know?
Get out of my way. Get out of my sight. Move. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get the hell out of my face. Move. Move!
When we get to the
Move.
atrium, follow my lead.
Keep out of my way. Get out of my way. Move!
We need to be careful talking to the synth. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Stay out of my way. Get the hell out of my face.
We need to be careful talking to the synth. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Get the hell out of my face.
Good afternoon. Food products are available for purchase. Would you care for some?
Theoretical limits are made to be broken. Mankind redefined. It's catchy, isn't it?
We need to be careful talking to the synth. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Get the hell out of my face.
Good. He's here. C-114. It's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Good. He's here. C-114. It's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Benet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the railroad does, Z1. He's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now. How many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
What do you need help with?
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Where would I find that?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The obvious place won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the railroad. I need those login credentials.
Liam.
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
and I feel flush. There. It's happening again.
Get the hell out of my face.
But something so big. I can't ask people to keep it secret any longer. The rumor is true. One of our agents has made it inside the Institute.
Is this what Tinker Tom was working on?
Yes, Tom's work is related. But the device and the assembly was the Wanderer's doing. After the device was assembled, he made it inside the Institute. And then back out.
Where is the Institute?
We're not sure exactly. Best guess is that it's somewhere under the old CIT. But they've been using a teleportation device to get in and out, so it could be anywhere.
What did he find out?
I know you all have questions, but I've said everything I want. But know this, the ops you're planning and running now are the most important of our lives. We have a chance at rescuing more synths than we ever dreamed of, so get it done.
Tinker Tom's cooking up something. I hope it goes better than last time.
Desdemona.
Have you met with Patriot yet?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Benet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there. Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Desdemona.
We have a backlog of synths in the pipe. Let's get them out of the Commonwealth. Safely.
Deacon's record is the best. You can learn a lot from him. Use the back entrance. Too much traffic to the church and we'll burn this hideout. 1 more hour until my shift ends.
You gotta be careful, man. The Institute is everywhere.
Bet you never met a synth before Glory. Got a lot of synths in play right now. This thing's really dangerous.
It's one crisis after another. Welcome to HQ.
Desdemona.
This isn't the Railroad's darkest hour. We will make it through.
Our latest intelligence tells us you've infiltrated the Institute and liberated a valuable holotape from their facility. I'm quite disappointed you chose to build the signal interceptor without the Brotherhood Knight. However, you've secured passage to and from their facility, which was one of our primary goals. So, I'm willing to overlook your lapse in judgment, since you've unexpectedly accelerated our plans. I now have 2 missions for you to complete. First and foremost, I want you to bring that holotape to Proctor Ingram right away. There could be data vital to the success of our mission on that tape, so we can't afford to take any chances. The second part of your mission requires a bit of background to explain. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
How did the Brotherhood meet Dr. Lee?
She was part of a civilian project in the capital wasteland that the Brotherhood appropriated. It wasn't difficult to convince her to stay. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
What sort of differences?
Although she was working with the Brotherhood of Steel, she never formally joined as a scribe. After the capital wasteland was secured, she objected to the Brotherhood's continued military presence there. I think she assumed we would just walk away from it all. She was wrong. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Dr. Lee previously worked on a potent weapon for the Brotherhood of Steel. We'd like her to continue where she left off. That's all I can tell you. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck, Knight.
You wanna try me? I have something urgent to report, Elder. The Institute is attempting to recover escaped synths at Bunker Hill. I thought I was your Institute reconnaissance.
You're the only one that's been able to breach the Institute. But you're hardly the only source for information we have. We've been running round-the-clock vertibird patrols, and we even have squads on the ground trying to pick up anything we can. Not to mention all the scribes we have monitoring radio traffic and trying to crack their RF encryption. I assure you, we have reconnaissance well in hand.
I have it on good authority. You'll just have to trust me.
Protecting your source, is it? Very well. Since you've given me no reason to doubt you in the past, your word will suffice. Your report provides us with a golden opportunity to state our intentions to the Institute. I'm placing you in command of this mission. Exterminate the synths at Bunker Hill, and whomever the Institute sends to retrieve them. I'll instruct Kells to assign you the appropriate backup. Dismiss, soldier.
Engine turbines at 87%.
Elder Maxon?
You have your assignment, soldier. Move out.
Ray radio signals keep pinging the array. Gonna try to filter it out.
You sure you want to waltz through Brotherhood HQ with a synth at your side?
Gonna be tough persuading Bunker
Somebody
Hill to
has
join up with the
security
Minutemen. They've always been go-it-alone types. Look at that. So were you in the Battle of Bunker Hill?
I've been waiting for you.
So, what's our situation?
I assume you've been briefed? Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The mission's parameters just changed. Going shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Hey, X4.
We must proceed with the mission.
Trouble.
Oh, that's awesome.
No sudden moves.
Please, no.
What's so bad about the Institute?
I couldn't take it anymore.
I'm not taking you back. You can leave.
I don't understand.
Hi.
Thank you for sparing us.
You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
Hey.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you.
We're not backing down. We're gonna protect what's ours.
Oh, Bunker Hill! I so wanted to visit. Do they have tours? Damn it, why can't this just be over?
Dangerous world out there. Good thing, too. Like no business with doctors, right?
Are you really a doctor?
Am I a doctor? Let me show you my degree from the School of Saving Wise Asses like you. I'm a positive...
Dr. Lee.
You again. What do you want now? You're obviously here for a reason, and you've already spoiled my experiment, so you might as well spit it out.
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find a way to intercept our teleport signal, and now you show up at my door. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
Why would we want you dead?
I did some pretty sensitive work for the Brotherhood of Steel. Even though Lyons let me go, there were a few others in the ranks that thought I knew too much. That's why I came to the Institute. It was the only place that I thought I'd be out of the Brotherhood's reach and still be able to do my research. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs my help. Why? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
Did you abandon any projects you wanted to complete?
You should know better than to ask me that. If they didn't tell you what I was working on, they didn't want you to know. I'm certainly not going to put my neck on the line and spread their dirty little secrets. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
He trusts you because you're family. I'm not. I can't just take your word for it. I need more than that.
The Brotherhood has always been straight with you.
I am getting a bit tired of all the secrets around here. Sometimes I feel like Father isn't being straight with me. Like there are things I'm not supposed to know about. I don't like that. But still, how can I turn my back on all of this?
Your work could be instrumental in freeing the Commonwealth.
You really know how to push my buttons, don't you? You know, I never understood why the Institute was so damn selfish. All those innocent people up there, dying. And here I am surrounded by technology that could make their lives better. Yet we hide down here and insulate ourselves from everything and everyone. It's not right. It's not right. I'll make my way back to the Brotherhood. But I'm going to have to do it on my own. I can't take any chances being seen with you. Tell whoever sent you that they've just regained the services of Dr. Madison Lee.
Sean.
If you encounter a hazardous chemical spill, please alert the Facilities Division immediately.
Oh, hi.
If you
You're
require
new here, right?
maintenance, please
I've
file
heard
a
about
report
you.
with the
No one
Facilities
new ever
Division.
shows up around here. Do you like the Institute so far?
I think a better question is, do you like it here, Sean?
Oh, I think it's great. I learn new things every day, and Dr. Watson is always playing games with me. So you've been above ground. Is it really all this straight up there?
How do you know anything about the Commonwealth? What have you heard?
Not too much. This one time, I modified a radio so I can listen to the broadcast from there. I think it's called Diamond City. The music was neat, but I didn't understand a lot of what they were talking about. Hey, don't tell Dr. Watson I did that, okay? I might get in trouble. I should get back to sleep, I guess. Maybe we could talk more some other time.
Scanning unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
If you find any technical documents, you should bring them to Proctor Quinlan for analysis.
Skills like yours should be shared. If you're willing, I'd like to enlist your help in educating our squires.
I hope you have no need of this thing back, but just in case.
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
Will she be harmed if she doesn't cooperate?
Absolutely not. We have big plans for Dr. Lee, including the resurrection of one of her greatest creations. The last thing we'd want to do is kill the Golden Goose. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Pridwin. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade, and we can't afford to take any chances. Now, I believe you still possess an important piece of data that Proctor Ingram is eagerly awaiting. I want you to bring it to her immediately. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed.
Try to minimize reactor jitter. Just more pressure. Excuse me, Elder Maxon.
I'm too busy to speak right now.
Looks quiet.
Welcome back. It needs some refinement, but I think we can consider my serum a qualified success.
My olfactory sensors just
This is a qualified success?
There were some side effects to the process. I seem to have hair again, and I've retained some muscle mass. The genetic resequencer needs more work. Still, I take your point. This is a significant advance, but only for one strain of FEV. It will take years, perhaps decades, to generalize my formula. Still, you have my gratitude. You're welcome to make use of my lab. Or help yourself to any of this junk if you want it. In the meantime, I have a lot of experiments to run. Excuse me.
Virgil?
Sorry, I'm rather busy right now.
there! Hostile sensor.
That'll be a good fight! Gonna splatter your brain!
I was just getting warmed up.
Possibly.
There you are.
Sensor anomaly detected. I am appointed. Available. I will find you.
Burn him down!
Running was a smart move on their part.
Son, you know,
In all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
So why come out here?
To put things in perspective, I suppose. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? Well, he was correct. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
Why let me out now? After all this time?
Well, that's hard to explain. Certainly, it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We got our asses kicked. Does it matter how?
The chances of failing this mission were so astronomically low that yes, it does matter. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Sounds like those raiders at River Talia are quite a handful.
Remember, health and happiness go hand in hand.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's... well, it's important. Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's... well, it's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Excuse me, but sir, are you sure this is, well, the proper time to be discussing that? Considering, I mean, given all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
What's Phase 3?
It's very important to us. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Technology before the war, but was only for testing. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
No!
Please,
Can't be serious!
Everyone, please, I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. Believe me when I say we've done everything we can. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy. You can't be serious!
Really?
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
Hello, Father. I hope your time in the Institute has been enjoyable.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why I made the decision. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us. But for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Son.
I dislike resorting to the use of Commonwealth technology, but the advantage it will provide in this case cannot be overlooked.
Sometimes Quentin is really mean to me, but my mom says I have to be nice anyway.
Hey, pal.
I've heard stories, and the surface sure sounds scary.
I wish you could have known Father as we have.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
What the hell is this operation about?
Hey, relax. We wouldn't send you off without the proper information. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
What's a beryllium agitator?
The details would be lost on you. No offense. The point is, it'll allow us to boost the reactor's power and get it running sooner than planned. You just keep me safe. I'll worry about the agitator.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
You're going? That complicates things.
Not really, no. I admit I'm not fond of going up top, but I promise to stay out of your way. This device we're after? It's very sensitive equipment, and it's pretty damn old. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I trust myself more. So, are you going to put up a stink, or can we get moving?
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. I don't like going above ground unless there's no other option. But here we are, with our options dwindling quickly. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
not yet mastered better than two advanced impact recipe, but I am working on it.
Running sense out of the well, wastelanders will be a bigger problem than even the Institute. You really walk the freedom trail. By yourself.
Greetings. Data model indicates a chance of another DIA cache being available for exploitation.
Maybe later.
Timetable for this task is not critical. Location of cache being transmitted to your Pip-Boy. Conversation terminated.
If you need something, take it.
Pam.
Preliminary analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman, Wilfred. Bergman, Wilfred. Registered as co-owner of Cambridge Polymer Labs. Estimated 81% chance of login credentials being located at this facility.
What's at Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs, LLC, had several active military contracts, specializing in robotics. The region is currently classified as extremely dangerous.
After you get the password report back here. With any luck, we'll have a game plan by then.